I'm Andrea Hawksley, and I built a 120 cell out of hair ties. And I wanted to talk about it at G4G because this was actually something that was inspired by a project in the sculpture garden that Zachary Abel, who was here last G4G, designed, and it's made out of rubber bands. And I really liked the really springiness of this, but I wanted to do something that maybe had more internal structure other than balloons, maybe had more color, so maybe use hair ties. And so I'd been thinking about this when Vi came up to me, and Vi said, "What's your favorite polychoron?" And I was like, well, this goes back kind of far. My favorite number is 5. It's been 5 since I was 5 years old, and when you're 5 years old, it seems like everything comes in groups of 5. For example, pentagons, which are obviously the best polygon, have 5 sides. And so it stands to reason that the dodecahedron, which is made up of 12 pentagons, is the best polyhedra. I mean, come on. So when it comes to 4-dimensional figures, it makes sense that my favorite 4-dimensional figure is the 120 cell, which is made up of 120 dodecahedral cells. The image here is a perspective projection, so it has a tiny dodecahedron in the middle and a giant dodecahedron on the outside. So this is the projection that I wanted to build out of hair ties, which seemed like a really good medium because they have a lot of stretch, so you don't have to get exactly the right dimensions. You can sort of stretch to just the right amount. Or at least that's what it seems like in my head. Of course, it turns out there are problems, and as people who helped me build this a couple days ago might know, and they include the fact that while you're building it, it's really floppy because you can't really keep it stretched out all the time, so sometimes it's hard to see what you're doing. And then once you're done, you need a place to stretch it out, and this was big, and the 120 cells, you can imagine, was actually even bigger. So where am I going to put this? And then there's also problems you wouldn't expect. For example, I went to CVS, and they sell hair ties in packs of 100. So I bought 600 hair ties. Now, there are 1,200 edges in a 120 cell, so 600 hair ties in one bud. Like, that seems pretty good, right? You shouldn't need that many more. You'll just go to CVS again in a couple months when they restock. Well, it turns out CVS doesn't restock very fast. So I used up my hair ties, went to CVS, and they didn't have any more. So I went to a different store, and they had hair ties, but they didn't match. Like, they had different stretchiness, different thickness. They weren't the right colors. Like, it was a disaster. So I went across to a different CVS and bought out all their hair ties. In all, I think I bought out 4 or 5 CVSs because, as it turns out, there are 1,200 edges, but as you get bigger, they only stretch so much. So at the outside, you're talking about like 4 or 5 hair ties long on an edge. This is 3 right here, actually. So once I was finally done, this is sort of, you can see this internal structure. It actually still ended up pretty floppy, in part because you can't stretch it out that far, and in part because I got the tensions a little bit off. But it's very colorful. The color scheme that you're looking at is not necessarily anything really elegant, but was actually something that helped with building it. So I started with one color, and each layer is a different color. So as you build it out, and it's really floppy, you can see where the next layer needs to be. So here it is stretched out. This picture is cropped because underneath it is a bed. I put this up in a bedroom, and on top of it is like a ceiling fan. And here it is in its permanent location for the time being, which is the communications design group where Vi works. There's another picture without me. And I have a little video of us boinging it, which is really the exciting part. Is there sound?
Yep.
Okay.
Not much.
So this, as you can see, Vi helped me with this video, is in the video. And it's currently in Vi's office where, as she mentioned previously, we are now started a math art sort of research and do stuff group, the octahedral group, where we, for example, made up this palindrome game and played with braids. And if you want to join, I recommend you just go to our website. There's a little sign-up form there, and you can get all the information, or you can email Vi or Gwen or Lucas or me or any of us, really. Thank you.